Woo! My voice is getting better. I'm getting my voice back. I'm super excited to be on your face this 12 this afternoon my time, and probably it's evening your time. How are you doing? It's a new day and I'm so happy and grateful to be here. My name is Bisola Miriam, and today I will be talking to you about this amazing, wonderful, controversial question and very fascinating question that I always get. And the question is, do I need to write GRE or Gmat or the SAT to get a guaranteed scholarship? And so today, my goal is to help you understand what these different exams are about, why you may need to write these exams, how you may avoid writing these exams, and the tricks that people will never tell you, even though these exams may not necessarily be important, depending on the program, the school, or what exactly you are aiming for. Like I said, listen closely because you don't want to miss what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So, the question is, do you need to write the GRE or the GMAT to get a fully funded scholarship? Do you need to write the GRE or the GMAT to get a fully funded scholarship? My response to that is you do not need the GRE or the GMAT to get a fully funded scholarship. And here is what I mean, right? Thank you, my brother, for joining me on Instagram. Where are you joining from? If you're joining me live, let me know what your name is. Drop a comment where you're joining in from, your location, your name. These are very important information for me as I go ahead with this 15 minutes conversation or thereabouts. So you don't necessarily need to write the GRE and the GMAT before you get a guaranteed scholarship. Now, this is the mistake that a lot of people make. You know the mistake? So they want to go to study abroad. They don't establish rapport with schools. They don't form connection. And you know what they go ahead and do? They actually go and book a date to write the SAT or the GRE. Well, they may score very good scores. They may not, they may even end up not scoring very competitive scores. But at the end of the day, they have written the exams, right? And so they think that because they have written the exams, that automatically should help them land a guaranteed scholarship. It's a no, no, no. That you have written an exam does not mean that automatically you would get a fully funded scholarship. Okay, I want you to understand that you have written a particular exam does not mean that automatically you're going to get a fully funded scholarship. And the truth of the matter is, the earlier you understand how this process works, the better. So, what do you need to do? Or whether, I mean, do you actually need to write these exams or any of these exams? Yes, it is possible that the school or a school would would request that you write this exam. But this is not the first thing to do. It's just like the case of some putting the cart before the horse, or is it the horse before the cart? I don't even know. You know what I mean, right? Do not, it's a case of misplaced priority if you go ahead and book an examination date and time, and you have no relationship with schools, it is not your scores that necessarily will give you that admission or that opportunity, even though it is important. It is not all that matter. It is the relationship that you establish first with schools that matter. Having said that, the next thing you want to bear in mind is you want to look at what are these different exams about, and what exam do you really need to take, if of course you have to take any exam. What is the GRE? The GRE is Graduate Record Examination. It is specifically designed to test quantitative, verbal, and analytical writing skills of anyone who wants to go to study at the graduate level. So when I say graduate level, I refer to, say you want to go study abroad at to maybe for a master's program or a PhD or even a law degree, or perhaps a business program or a management related course. So bear it in mind that the GRE is applicable to for programs like on the master's level or PhD level academic courses, or business programs like MBA, management, and the rest. It's also a requirement that law school, some law schools actually would require that you take the GRE, if of course you are not able to provide them the LSAT score. What is the GMAT? The GMAT, like the LSAT, is specifically designed to test people who want to test the ability of people who want to go to business schools. So if you take the GMAT, basically you are demonstrating that you want to show you are actually demonstrating your preparedness for business school level education. The LSAT is similar to the GMAT because it is specifically designed to test the ability or the skills required to succeed in the law school. The SAT is designed to test the ability of anyone who wants to come study abroad at the undergraduate level. So, having said all of these about these different exams, the smart thing is not to jump and go and register for these exams. No. The smart thing is for you to what? First of all, get clear about what your interest is. What do you want to go study? What do you want to apply for? Right? So when you know what you're going to apply for abroad, you know the necessary requirements. How do you identify the necessary requirements? You get these requirements on the website of the schools. That's where you find out this information, right? So you find out this information on the website of schools. When you find out requirements, you are clearly you would be more strategic, more pragmatic, and more calculative in your action. You are not just listening to some random friend who says to you that, hey, if you want to study abroad, you have to go and write the GRE. I wrote the GRE. Who told you? What if the school that you're going to apply to is no longer requires people to write the GRE? What if the program no longer requires people to take the SAT? What if that program is actually waiving the GMAT? So these are the things that you need to bear in mind. Don't go ahead and apply or register for an exam that you have no clarity on. The first step is get acquainted with the website of schools abroad. When you know there's this saying that a mind that knows, it's a mind that is free. For a mind that knows is a mind that's free. That's the University of Ibadan anthem, right? A mind that knows is a mind that is free. What you know, no one can bamboozle you, no one can push you here and there. You've got clarity, and that is what I want you to have. So, first of all, identify what you want to apply for. And that is why it is very important that you understand what an application story is. In the 100 Scholars Club, there's a book that I've authored, the Scholarship Guaranteed Hack Book. This book teaches you how to develop your application story. And when you master what your application story is, guess what? It makes it very easy for you to identify the courses that suit your interest. Let me tell you, you might not even be aware that there are certain programs that, if you know the tricks, the necessary hacks, you would get the schools to waive some of these exams for you. Maybe you have professional experience of over 10 years. Some programs would waive the testing requirement because you've got professional experience. Someone who wants to apply for a degree like a master's degree in business or management, you can position yourself for a waiver because of your work experience. Clarity. Another thing you need to understand is after you have identified the different requirements listed on the school's website, the next step you want to take is to do your comparative cost advantage or your opportunity cost. What does that mean? Verify if there are other schools with the kind of program that you want to, with similar programs or with related areas of interest. So what do I mean? So your interest is to go for a degree in engineering, and there is a school that you want to apply to, but this school is mandates the GRE. Why don't you find out about sister programs in that school that you can apply for where the GRE is not required? See, the step is when you go for that program where the GRE is not required, when you eventually get into that school, if your choice or desire is to eventually go for the engineering program, you can switch, transfer quickly. You can easily transfer. So this is one way to actually avoid writing these exams when it becomes really clear that you can't avoid it. Sounds good to you? If this is working for you, if you're getting null value, if you're getting clarity, drop a comment. Don't just listen. Engage in the chat. Let me know if you're following and if this is value for you. Now, in addition to what I've said, if you realize that, so I already talked about one, get clarity by first defining what your application story is. Step number two, focus on getting your facts only from the website of these schools, not from what your friends are saying or what somebody told you. Verify your facts. Verify. Step number four, when you verify, do your opportunity costs. Opportunity cost, step number one in the opportunity cost is if there are other programs that are related to that program that would not require that you take the GRE or TOEFL, why don't you get into those programs? And after your first semester, you can easily transfer to another department. People do that every day, and they are not going to beat you up for it. Got that? So the last thing I want you to know is in doing your comparative cost advantage, there's something else you can do. When you identify that some schools would never waive the GRE and you are also so bent on going to that school. So one thing you want to do is to do a comparative cost advantage, which is it possible that those schools are waiving application fee? If those schools are waiving application fee, the smart thing is write the exam if you believe you can do well on your own. Of course, if you believe you can do well, you need to get a coach. So when you do your comparative cost advantage, it simply means that when you know that these schools are waiving application fee, identify up to 5 schools waiving application fee, right? When you identify those 5 schools waiving application fee, you get your, you are able to not just get 5 schools that you can apply to. Guess what? How much does let me give you an idea. Every school's application fee is about $30 to $60 or to $100. So if you have 5 schools waiving application fee for you, that's about $50 times 5. That's $250. So you see, you would avoid paying if it is possible that you get 5 schools that you don't have to pay application fee for to. You can actually pull those funds together and use those funds to register for the GRE or the TOEFL or the SAT or whichever exam you need to write. Do you know what the interesting thing is? The interesting thing is when you have all this opportunity cost done and you are able to avoid paying to 5 to 6 schools as an application fee wise, all of this money you put together to write one exam, do Do you know the interesting thing? The interesting thing is that that money that you're able to put together, you can actually pull those funds together to write one exam. And this one exam, the results you can send to more than 5 schools. And guess what? The result is also valid for 5 years. Like the GRE, like the Gmat, like the LSAT or the SAT. These exams are valid for 5 years. That's a smart opportunity cost, analysis there, right? Does this sound really cool to you? If it does, drop a comment, share this video, like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, most importantly. After this live video, for those watching on Instagram, you might not be able to have access to this live video. But if you join my YouTube family by chatting my number, the number in my bio, right? Go to my bio on Instagram and you'll be able to access my WhatsApp number. That is the best way to reach me. Now, I've talked to you today about, I have tried to answer the question, do I need to write the GRE or GMAT or SAT? And in order to explain that, I told you what these different exams are. I went on to talk about how you should focus on getting your facts on schools' websites. And then I went on to explaining to you the different strategies that you can employ in order to actually avoid writing these exams. After that, I went on to talk about how you can do a comparative cost advantage if, for instance, you are so bent on writing that exam. And I talked to you specifically about how you can focus on schools with application fee waivers so that you can put the funds together to write an exam that, of course, will be valid for 5 years. I also shared another app, which is getting into not so competitive programs and eventually transferring into the very competitive programs. What I've done today is to clear your doubts, to give you clarity, and to give you the necessary tools that you can begin to use even today in order to begin your journey to a guaranteed scholarship. My name is Bisola Miriam. I'm a study abroad coach with over 7 years of experience. I've been working with scholars, over 100 scholars in the last 7 years. I say over 100 because the process to getting a guaranteed scholarship is very intensive. And to get the right result, you would only work with limited people of a very small number of people per time. It's not many of such businesses where you only sell a product and then they go. The process to getting a guaranteed scholarship is so intensive that you need to be in the life of your scholars and be there for them every step of the way. And so that's why, even though I have been working closely with scholars for over 7 years, I have only been able to work with over 100 in my inner circle one-on-one coaching. Now, let me tell you about an offer that I have, and I think this would really interest you. I call that the 100 Scholars Club. What is the 100 Scholars Club about? The 100 Scholars Club is basically a coaching program where you have access to me for 6 months. So every month you have my undivided attention in a very private, exclusive community, a virtual platform, of course, where you're engaging with me live. I'm giving you clarity for 60 minutes. In addition to having my access to me every month, you're going to be having access to the following. My book, the Scholarship Guaranteed book, is a bestseller. I have made over 2,000 sales in the last 2 years. In the last 1 year of the book launch or relaunch, after all. And this book is a go-to tool where you can clarify what your application story is, define your application story, identify list of schools with waivers, and most importantly, you get access to templates for building your letter of introduction. On top of the book, you get access to my online course. So this is a pre-recorded course where I have sat down with scholars with your kind of questions, undergraduate and graduates or doctoral candidates looking to study abroad on a guaranteed scholarship. And in that online course or bootcamp, I have given them clarity by explaining to them the steps by steps that they need to take in order to get a fully funded scholarship. This online course is going to be accessible to those in the 100 Scholars Club for free. Also, you're going to be getting access to templates. So you don't even need to start thinking of ideas. There are a pool of ideas. There is a pool or a well of ideas, right, that you can pull from. And so what exactly how much does this cost, or what is the value of this 100 Scholars Club program? The book is $39.99. The online course is $159.99. Access to me, as well as all of my templates and cheat sheets, is $799.99. So if you do the calculation, or you do the estimate, right, everything adds up to $999.99, which is approximately $1,000. But guess what? I have a pre-order going on. And the pre-order right now is that you get access to this 100 Scholars Club offer with only how much? Only $99.99, which is approximately $100. So instead of paying $1,000, I'm giving you access to everything that I've talked about for only $99.99. This is the best offer you can possibly get. If you want to learn more about this offer, perhaps you still have questions or doubts, I can schedule you for my free clarity call, which holds 8 to 9 p.m. West African time, just an hour before my live free clarity call on my YouTube channel every Friday. So if you reach out to me via my WhatsApp number, I can book you for a Zoom meeting where I can answer your questions live. So, most importantly, you see, it is possible to work this thing out yourself, but you make a lot of mistakes. You will burn energy, time, data. You will stress. Sometimes you would cry. But rather than wet your pillow and get confused, frustrated, why don't you work with me? I have cried the cry. I have shed tears in the past. I have gone through the struggle. I have gone through the stress. I have paid the price. And today I can coach you, I can train you, I can guide you. My business is duly registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission in Nigeria, but of course, our operation is global as I operate live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, USA. So if this sounds like what you need, if I seem to be that person that you need in your life, especially as you plan to relocate to study abroad and eventually settle abroad, reach out to me on my number, which is +234-2495-7386. Remember, abundance is here, but clarity comes when you know who to go to. And that is who I am. I'm your clarity queen, and I'm here to help you. God bless you, and I'll see you some other time. Bye.